back, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at this Ozark Trail 18-inch machete that goes for $5. So if you're interested to see that, stay with me. Thanks for sticking with me. So I don't know if you can hear it yet or not, but it's absolutely crazy windy today. Not a good day for outdoor filming, but we're going to endeavor to persevere. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this 18-inch machete from Ozark Trail. And you see I have one nice and new here to show you, but I also have one that I've used, not a ton, but enough I think to formulate an opinion, at least initially anyhow. So we'll go ahead and get into that. So we'll start with this one, just to show the texture on the handle. It's kind of a pyramid texture, you know, like you might find on handguns and such, is what it reminds me of. But it is a touch slick for my taste, so I added some of the hockey stick handle wrap on there. Works real great. Now we're going to get into the part that is terrible, and that's this sheath. I mean, you can see it's floppy. This is not a sheath. This is just a piece of fabric. I mean, there's no... I mean, I guess it's a sheath in the respect it's covering the blade, but that's it. This little Velcro deal does not hold it in. I mean, keep in mind, though, we are talking a $5 machete here, so I mean, not like we're talking a $100 Condor machete or something like that, you know. But so that Velcro, and I'll do it better so that way y'all know that it's for sure on there. So there you go, it's on there. Oh, it did hold it that time. Normally it breaks loose. I'm surprised. I wouldn't trust it though, let me just say that. And it does have a little belt loop there, and also a little split ring. Why, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I definitely would not trust this machete to protect you or it or anything. I mean, it does help, I guess, to keep from accidentally hitting the blade, but other than that, I just wouldn't really trust it. But for $5 for the entire machete, I'm sure a person could come up with their own, and I might do that. So, now moving on to the machete itself here. Obviously, 18-inch. I would say this is probably a 1/16 of an inch thick, I would guess. And it does have a sharp enough spine that, you know, a fire steel would be very easy to scrape with it. And this is actually made out of high carbon steel, according to the Walmart website. And I kind of believe that, in the respect that I looked all over this one and it doesn't say stainless steel anywhere. And you know, if it was stainless, they'd put it on there, no matter how junk of stainless it would be. Now, how good a carbon steel it is, I don't know, but it may not be too terribly bad, because I mean, as you can see, I've put some use in on this, and I've been working on a spot back here. I cleaned out at least a 10 by 10, 10 by 12 area, something like that, you know, just pulling this right out of the package, no sharpening or nothing. And I mean, it's done pretty good. Now, the edge doesn't feel quite as sharp as it truly is, because they put a clear lacquer coating on these to keep them from rusting. And, you know, not a huge fan of that myself, but I get it. You know, I get it why they did. So, it is what it is. I can't hardly tell you from here. I didn't think to check it. Surely this is a... I don't know, it feels like a hollow grind, honestly. I bet it is. It's certainly what it feels like. But I haven't had any issues with it so far. And I'll actually show you where I've been, if I can get this to work the way I want it to. Maybe this helps. Yeah, see, you can see there in the edge, just a little bit right up in there. And those are a few little tiny small chips, but I should say, you see there's mud on there. So this thing has been going into the dirt, and I've heard it hitting rocks and everything else, and I mean that's it, you know. Like I said, yeah, there's some chips right there, just tiny chips, and nothing from when it was hitting, you know, just plant material. Only time the chips would happen was, of course, nailing it into the ground. But that's kind of what a machete's for, you know. Usually the tip end isn't sharp, which is why you'll notice, if you can see it, how the grind kind of just tapers off and goes to the end. Well, that's not a mess up. You know, they do that intentionally because it's called a grubbing tip. So what that's used for is, of course, hitting stuff on the ground, or if you need to dig something, you can. I mean, that's intentional. That's not just, you know, oopsie. So one thing, though, that I really hope is this thing holds up good, because I think it would be fun to get rid of these plastic handles, get rid of this coating, you know, do a little bit of gun blue or some ferric chloride or something like that, and make some micarta handles for it. I think that'd be pretty sweet. But, you know, I don't want to do all that to something that's not gonna hold up. So we'll see how the blade does, but so far it has done really well. So enough of the talking. I don't know what else more we could say about it at this point. So let's go cut some stuff. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad, although we probably won't be doing a whole lot of talking. Something I do need to say prior to swinging this thing: make sure that you guys always have your medical stuff on you, you know, tourniquet, packing gauze, etc. I mean, you don't necessarily need an entire IFAC with chest seals and all, but I would certainly make sure, you know, that you at least have a tourniquet and some bandaging, especially doing something like this. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to come back and hit yourself. Obviously, we should never do that. Things happen. But we got this in the ground here, and let's go ahead and finish it off here. And there it is. No problem there. Done deal. Now I can get my dirt back in there. And yes, that'll end up growing up again, but that's okay. I'm not necessarily trying to keep it forever cleaned. I mean, kilt off. You know, I can always come back through if I need to. I just don't want to hit any stobs or anything when I'm walking through or mowing through or whatever, because I'm clearing out this fence line. Here's what's actually happening. So let me reset the camera here, and we will look at a different thing. Well, sorry about the wind noise. I was about to go over here and cut these big 1.5 inch, well, not big, but 1.5 inch or 2 inch sized little limbs that are left over there, and I swung at one of these deals on the ground, not knowing that this brick was in there. Well, you can see that nice big chunk taken out. Well, that was done with this machete right there. I'll show you where. I'm sure you can see the red coloration right up in here. There's where it hit. Practically nothing. Right there's where it hit. You can see maybe, yeah, just a tiny bit of rolling there. This chip wasn't from that, I don't believe. A little roll, but that's about it. I mean, that's pretty good for $5 if you ask me, but let's go check this out. Sorry if there's some jumping of the camera there with this wind. It's unbelievable. It actually blew my whole entire tripod and everything over, but here we go. Nice. That went almost halfway in. looking good. A lot of that on there is actually wood, not chips. Let me clean it off. See there? I mean, there is a few up here from when I was using it the last time, but for the most part, you know, working pretty good. And yes, I know, those would be much easier to saw. Probably the best budget saw out there. The Corona Razor Tooth. Whoa, where are we at? Okay, there we are. Although, try to get the Gen 2, this is the Gen 1. On a Gen 1, see when you close it, you have teeth exposed. That'll catch your finger, but the Gen 2, they fixed that. Something sparked down there when I swung at it, but I mean, we're still, looking pretty decent. There are some chips in it, but I mean, I'm hitting the ground, as you see. I'm not cutting her any slack, but I'm also not, hitting the ground as hard as I could. I mean, obviously, if you want to break this, it really wouldn't be that tough. One thing about machetes, when you're swinging, you got to make sure you're not swinging towards that leg. It'll happen before you know it. And also notice the eye protection. I'm not sure what kind of tree or bush these are, but it's got stickers on it. I don't know if you can see them or not, but those things are sharp. It's not like a regular sticker bush or rose bush. It's not like that. Yeah, that sound was rocks, for sure. That one was at least 1.25 inches, and I'm not swinging as hard as I could. I probably could have went through that with one lick. About 1 inch or so. Oh yeah, over halfway, about 3/4 of the way through. see if I can chunk it out here. There you go. Nice chunk. These bypass loppers here, they also work good for a job like this, but they're not near as much fun as a machete is. And we're back from chopping all that stuff. Let's see if we can. Looks like a little bit of a roll there, but very minor. I mean, you can see those. Those weren't from this, I don't think. These are from when I was first using it, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I don't know. Either way, though, I mean, I was running it hard, obviously, hitting the dirt, not worrying about it at all, really. And yeah, you can see the end down there. There's a little bit boogered up, but as you go down, that's actually not. It's just tree there, but I mean, you can see the part that's, you know, actually cutting the trees is good. You know, mainly probably about that area there when, you know, something like that when you're slicing trees. And that whole section's pretty good all the way up until the end down here where I've been hitting the dirt with it. So, all in all, I think not too bad. Alright, so let's wrap this thing up. Hopefully the wind noise wasn't too bad. It's been windy for days here. In Missouri, that's typically how it is. You know, we always say if it wasn't for the wind. But I think, you know, to sum it up, $5, you cannot beat this. I mean, if you didn't bang it into rocks, you know, you wouldn't have that little bit of edge damage that is there. But also I could quickly and easily take that out, you know, on a stone or preferably my work sharp, something like that, you know. But it wouldn't take long at all to get that out. So, plus, like I said, you know, on the tip, you're not too concerned about it anyhow. So, you know, not a big problem, in my opinion. Now, this one though, I do want to talk about. That right there is one of the reasons. This one, this old cheap machete, is a Harbor Freight special. And this one, I do not recommend because it doesn't hold up as well. This one has a lot of chips from hitting things, a lot more chips than that, but mainly this saw on the back. I mean, yeah, it's aggressive and it would probably cut some things, but it's not exactly comfortable holding it in hand like that and trying to saw. And not only that, you know, if you're not careful when you're pulling it back, you know, to do your swing, you know, if for whatever reason you happen to bump your leg or, you know, arm, anything, these teeth will cut right in. So personally, I don't like teeth on the back of a machete. Don't need it. You know, if I want a saw, I'll bring a saw. I mean, I get it. It's trying to use the real estate they have, but I'd rather it just be a plain back like that. And of course, this Harbor Freight one, its sheath isn't any better. Maybe a touch, because it's not quite as floppy, but it's still floppy and it's still not a good sheath. So put that one away, because that's not what we're talking about. But this one, which actually I do have a ferro rod, forgot about. Just see if it can do it. About the best method right here, especially with a bigger tool and a smaller ferro rod. I see sparks. So as you've seen, there was a little bit of spark in there. I mean, nothing major, but again, I'm not using it for that, but it would do it. I mean, it would definitely do it, no problem. Probably a little more squared up here, but so to put a bow on it, you know, for $5, I definitely recommend it. I did notice that on some of the real hard swings that this beak here would end up, you know, into your fingers, but not as bad as the old Ontarios used to be. And any of y'all that had any of those, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, guys, I mean, I would grab these while they're $5. I mean, with the way things are going in the world today, we never know, you know, when things might not be coming from China anymore. And I can promise you without a shadow of a doubt, they aren't going to make this in America with, you know, apparently a decent carbon steel. I mean, I'm not going to say great, but I mean, either way, you're not going to buy this American made for $5. It's just not going to happen. And yeah, you're supporting the CCP or the PLA or whoever, you know, you want to equate it with, but the fact of the matter is, for a good, you know, tool that you can use and don't have to be too concerned about, you're going to be hard pressed, you know, to find something better. So the moral of the story is, you know, guys, get out there, use your stuff, you know, even if it is, you know, cheaper, more budget, Walmart, whatever, you know, get out there and use it. That's the main thing. And hopefully you liked what you saw, and now that we're kind of getting into a little bit warmer weather, hopefully we'll be doing some more videos. So we'll see you in the next one.